Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Okay, today's question. You're in a relationship with a narcissist. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to pull my hair out. But then you're like, how is it that this person actually has friends? How is it that they actually have relationships with people at work that they get. Sorry. How is it that this person has friends? How is it that they have relationships with people at work, like people they get along with? So you're already confused enough? And you're like, how do people like them? Let's break that phenomenon down. Those of you new to this channel, I'm Dr. Ramani, where we do the deep dive in this channel on all things narcissism and narcissistic relationships. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. We're going to take this on. How do they have friends? So here you are. You're in a really difficult narcissistic relationship of some kind. You're exhausted, you're confused, you're ruminating, you're hurt. You're stuck in the feeling that there is no justice because the narcissistic person in your life seems to be getting away with all of their bad behavior and nobody seems to really understand what it is you're going through. But another big question you may be struggling with is, how is it that this narcissistic person has friends? How do they still have colleagues and folks at work that seem to like them? Well, you kind of already know the answer to this. One twisted advantage the narcissistic person has is their superficiality. Their relationships do not go deep. As a result, friendships for grandiose narcissistic people may be a numbers game. They may just have lots of people they're able to have an easy breezy good time with. I have to tell you, when I'm watching a grandiose narcissistic person work a room, I really look at them with a sense of wonder. I am an introvert and a rather socially unskilled one, so the whole thing is foreign to me. But grandiose narcissists are able to have short, intense interactions and then move to the next and then the next and laugh loud and hold court and ha 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 and just keep going. Which makes sense because grandiose narcissists and all of the research have been shown to be high in extroversion. So they often maintain relatively large social networks because they need them. They get supply from those social networks, but they also don't go deep. So it's not emotionally taxing for them. There is no real sharing, no real depth. It's just light and the easy breezy, and the narcissist isn't really listening to anyone who's talking to them anyhow. They just like the idea of there being lots of people there. Narcissistic folks are emotional sprinters. That's why their superficial friendships work. They can be fun for short bursts. They can be up for a good time. They may buy the drinks. They may charm the host to get the best table. As soon as a relationship goes deep with them, forget about it. It won't work. That's why folks who are friends with a narcissist and then let that fold into more of an intimate relationship are often very surprised by how badly that transition goes. The friendship may have been lots of fun, but an intimate relationship rather invalidating and confusing. Fun friendships work with sprinters, but long-term committed relationships require your emotional distance runners, and they're just built differently. So it may seem like the narcissistic person in your life has a lot of friends, but then let's say you start talking to those friends when your relationship with their narcissistic friend goes south. And those very friends will probably admit things like, I don't really know them that well. We just have hang out together. We have a good time together. And right there, they're telling you that they have little insight into the inner world of these fun, albeit narcissistic friends. Maybe because there isn't that deep an inner world in the narcissist, and their friendship worked because there was no attempt to go deep and dip into that inner world for either person. Well, what about having colleagues, right? Work is higher stakes, isn't it? Well, similar principles at play. Narcissistic people often tend to do quite well at work. They are brilliant self-promoters, they are very competitive, they are results-focused, and they care about optics and performance. They love the accolades and praise they get from succeeding at work. There is less depth required in work relationships, right? In fact, we're often told we should hold back a little. And narcissistic people are actually willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. So at work, narcissistic folks are really good at looking good, and most people just don't understand narcissism, so they see a successful person or a politically skilled person. Management and leadership often love the narcissists at work because they're making money or succeeding and often kissing the backsides of management or leaders in the organization. And narcissists are also more likely to pursue leadership positions, so they will often seek out leadership and ultimately set the culture of the organization. And that's not going to end very well. So if you are in a relationship of any kind with a narcissistic person, you may be perplexed at how such a toxic person is killing it at work. Well, you've already seen enough of the charm and charisma to recognize how this happens. You won't be surprised if one day you find out that the wheels come off for them at work. But when you think about what works at work, it also shouldn't surprise you that they're doing so well there. Again, it comes back to this point I keep saying and saying. Most people don't understand narcissism. And for some reason, this lack of understanding is even more pronounced in the workplace. Many people get confused by the friends that the narcissist has and the colleagues, and can foster self-blame that people in narcissistic relationships always maintain. You may take the stance of like, oh, they have lots of friends, they have lots of colleagues who seem to like them, so this has got to be me. Nah. Some folks like the narcissist because they benefit from the relationship. The narcissist may buy the drinks, they may pay for the fun experiences, they may make the company and everyone else at the company a lot of money. So the folks who like them are often the ones who are benefiting from the relationship in some way. Stick around long enough and you will see that the relationships don't go deep. And if the relationships and friendships attempt to go deep, then the friendship will go away. Or you will see that their narcissistic patterns and issues may really end up causing problems for them in the workplace. It all comes down to that good day, bad day model of narcissism that all of us know far too well. And in the superficial, quick hit relationships, like shallow friendships and workplace stuff, narcissistic folks actually do well and get what they need. It's when things get emotional or require more depth that nothing works with them. Some of you may also wonder about family. Why does their family still want to spend time with them when they're so awful? Why don't their family see it or get it? That's so much more complicated because all of that may also be made messier by intergenerational cycles because of enabling. You may also be in the relationship with a golden child. Their parents may be like this, or the family may be benefiting from the narcissistic person. For example, they may be taking good care of people in the family financially. Now, this having lots of friends thing isn't true of all narcissistic folks. The vulnerable narcissists are actually quite introverted and often don't have lots of friends. So this doesn't always play out. But the communal narcissists may have really large social groups from their commitment to causes. Self-righteous narcissists are often involved in either spiritual communities, religious groups, political causes, or other groups that sort of share their morality and who view them as being upstanding and great. When you are trying to sort through the red flags and figure out if this relationship is for you, this is complicated because sometimes people say, well, this person has lots of friends, so maybe this would be a good person to date because people like them, right? So that idea that they have these large social networks can really obscure the red flags. It's tempting to reflect on how other people experience the narcissistic person in your life, but ultimately only you can judge your experience for yourself. It's not a numbers game. It's so easy to say, well, they've got a lot of friends, so they must have something going for them. Because most people out there don't understand narcissism, and because most narcissistic friendships are quite superficial, their sheer number of friends isn't teaching you a darn thing. You have to pay attention to how you feel, the red flags you see, before you go any further down the path in any kind of relationship with a narcissistic person. Thanks again.